The last 2 weeks felt like Christmas came early, with release dates, new entries from beloved franchises, and games back from the dead. So let's begin with Enter the Gungeon 2, the sequel to the beloved action roguelite that has, like Wizard of Legend 2 before it, taken things into the 3D direction and abandoned pixel art. Not my favourite change, but more Gungeon is a good thing. This next entry is also quite interesting since STARSEEKER Astroneer Expeditions is a standalone co-op focused title set in the sci-fi universe of Astroneer. But critically, the developers make it a point to say that this is not Astroneer 2, where original Astroneer will continue to exist and get updates. Instead, this appears to be putting less of a focus on the crafting sandbox aspect and more on the adventuring portion, where you can team up with other players using an ever-evolving space station as your hub to plan and prepare for expeditions before going on them. As such, it looks to be mission-based, but I'm not sure what the overarching narrative or structure would be like, but again, more Astroneer is a good thing. This video is brought to you by Bare Knuckle Sandwich, a 2D boxing game that adds side-scrolling exploration and a character-driven narrative to the classic arcade-style gameplay, made famous, of course, by Punch-Out! Our protagonist, Gunner, is a directionless young man who decides to join an underground bare-knuckle boxing ring in search of meaning in a beat-down eccentric city. The core of the game centers around timing-based fights that play out like mini rhythm games, where reading the opponent and reacting at the right moment matters more than button mashing. You have to dodge, block and land heavy hits while learning enemy patterns, with each unique adversary having their own fighting style and tricks up their sleeves. You are also free to explore the city, which opens up shops and odd jobs, giving the world a more lived-in vibe, since you can spend time working other jobs or talking to locals, making friends or even enemies on your way to the top of the boxing world. This releases very soon on April 9th, 2025, so if interested, wishlist the game on Steam. We did also get an April Fool's Day trailer for GIGASWORD, which featured some of the other games from their publisher Akupara Games, a little note which I missed when this was announced in October 2024, but I've chosen a more regular gameplay trailer where this is a Metroidvania in which you wield a giant sword. The game has been in development for a long time, so a publisher picking it up is good news, hopefully meaning that there are signs of progress. The interesting part about this game is that there is a puzzle element to the exploration, where you can stick your giant sword into a slot to open doors or trigger switches, which then means that you will not have access to the sword for a period of time. But you do seem to get back access in time for the boss fights, being able to use it to summon lightning as well, and looks fun with great pixel art as well. We also got the release date for KIBORG, a roguelite 3D brawler of note, since it comes to us from the developer of Redeemer, taking the same kind of ultra-violence but applying it to another setting. You are sentenced to a 1,300-year term on the galaxy's most notorious prison planet for crimes you didn't commit, and in this dystopian future, death offers no release, since prisoners can be reconstructed after death to continue to serve out their sentence. Your sole chance for freedom lies in surviving The Last Ticket, a brutal reality show where inmates battle through hordes of fellow prisoners to reach a shuttle awaiting on the prison's roof. The gameplay seamlessly blends elements of classic beat-em-ups, shooters and roguelites, featuring fast, brutal and deadly combat. Engage in visceral battles where you can sever limbs, crush heads and tear cybernetic cores from living foes using an array of your own cybernetic implants as you experiment with hundreds of power-enhancing augmentations and apply various mutations to create deadly synergies. The combat here is the focus and looks good, even if the protagonist does look a little generic, with the great news being that it has a release date and is out very soon.
Morning! Nice day for fishing, ain't it?
I love fishing in games, which is why Nice Day for Fishing got my attention during the most recent Steam Nix Festival, only for you folks in the comments pointing out that this is from Viva La Dirt League, a New Zealand group of professional sketch comedy YouTubers who have a channel with over 7 million subscribers, which was something I didn't know about, but it's cool that they decided to make a game. Our hero in this game was an ordinary NPC fisherman, but when the proper heroes vanished amid the threat of a great evil, our humble NPC turned into an adventurer and has to save the day. You're using your fishing skills in everything, from using the rod as a weapon, taking part in fishing battles where timing is critical, can sail on your boat to explore, and even to fish for treasure, with the news being that it will release on PS5 and Switch as well. One of the surprisingly popular roguelite platformers is the original Neon Abyss, a neon-soaked action-packed title with a ton of variety, and they are, of course, making Neon Abyss 2. Set in a cyber-myth roguelike universe, this offers exhilarating run-and-gun action with diverse combat styles and limitless item synergies, with various expansions and improvements to the first game, even if it does look similar visually. For one, there are more weapons here for you to try, including summoning dragons, which will of course work in concert with the random item drops, with the floating familiar Abyss companions also making a return. However, you can catch, collect, and evolve these creatures in the sequel, along with more new features and systems like Faith, which is designed to turn the odds in your favor when the Abyss gets tough, and is certainly a title to keep an eye on. Enhance your musical journey in Rift of the NecroDancer with the Celeste music pack, introducing 4 iconic tracks from Lena Raine's acclaimed soundtrack in Scattered and Lost, Reach for the Summit, Confronting Myself, and Resurrections, where each track has been transformed into a dynamic rhythm riff, featuring Madeline or Madeline popping along, accompanied by a Celeste background visualizer complete with strawberry particle effects. These riffs offer 4 difficulty levels: easy, medium, hard, and impossible, as well as a remix mode for a fresh beat map every time you play, with a free rhythm riff titled Resurrections Remix by Danny Baranowski, which has also been added to the base game for all players for free. But do note that they are selling these 4 tracks individually, although you can get them as a package, and is very Guitar Hero-like in that sense. We did also get a new trailer for Animal Use Protocol, a survival horror game which went kind of viral when it was announced, with this being the first official trailer for that. Set in a research facility where animals are subjected to dangerous experiments, you play as a hyper-intelligent chimpanzee named Pen, who is attempting to escape while avoiding traps, hostile creatures, and a terrifying chimera that roams the halls. The game blends stealth mechanics with exploration. As you navigate through the eerie environments of the station, you will need to solve puzzles, interact with the environment, and use your unique abilities to outsmart your enemies. One of the key gameplay features is the Gravity Manipulation tool, which allows you to alter the environment and manipulate objects to your advantage. Alongside your companion, Trip the Rat, you are uncovering the facility's dark secrets while on your journey, with Unreal Engine 5 definitely helping in terms of visuals. We did also get the release date confirmation for White Knuckle, a first-person platformer or speed climbing game set in the guts of a place known as Substructure 17. Of course, from the visual style and overall vibe, there are some horror overtones to the game, but the core platforming does look like quite the fun challenge as you climb and make your way up the structure. What I didn't know is that this is a roguelite and you can fall to your death, but does have a meta progression system from run to run as you obtain various perks and upgrades to make the next run easier, with an interesting inventory management system as well that you need to wrap your head around. This also has a release date and it is very soon, but will be early access, but I'm definitely curious about this title. Hear me out on this one. Sure, Marvel Cosmic Invasion does use one of the biggest IPs in the world and is a licensed game, but of course, if you've been around indie games, one look at this title in motion and you might have guessed that this is from developer Tribute Games, who made TMNT Shredder's Revenge, one of the best modern beat-em-ups, so I was not surprised to see another big IP holder approach them with this pretty much looking like that Turtles game, but with Marvel characters instead. having less thick outlines and less chunky proportions to the characters, but still looks absolutely awesome, where you choose from 15 heroes and battle a nihilist over the fate of the universe, and should be excellent given the developer's background. If you're deep into roguelite deck builders, you might have come across Pirate Outlaws from 2019, a pirate-themed title with an excellent art style and has a very interesting ammo system where ammo cards took up space in your hand and you had to reload your weapon, where we are of course looking at the sequel in Pirate Outlaws 2 Heritage. Their signature art style improves, having a little bit more detail to the characters in particular, while still retaining the iconic pirate theme. For example, you are exploring the node-based world map on your ship, have to search for treasure, and can return to friendly taverns to regroup before setting off on epic expeditions, taking on apes, ghosts, and of course sea monsters. Instead of having a variety of characters, each character here has several classes, each with their own starter decks and unique ability cards. The upgrade system here also resembles a merge game where you need to collect 3 of a card to evolve them, with the expected permanent relics and enemy intentions being made known to you and will be for fans of the genre. What's Christmas without some titles you can play right now, where Look Outside was a surprise release that drops out of nowhere and has done decently well, unsurprising since it is being published by Devolver, but it's a risky strategy to release your game like this, which I would not recommend. This is a survival horror JRPG set in an apartment building where a mysterious event is occurring which causes everyone who looks outside to turn into a horrible monster. Trapped in the building, the gameplay focuses on exploration and resource management as you scavenge for supplies to survive, while avoiding the danger lurking outside, but of course, these horrors will find their way into the building as well and might help or hinder your progress. Combat is turn-based and strategic, requiring you to carefully plan your moves and utilize your limited resources effectively, reminding me of Fear and Hunger, since more often than not, you should try to avoid fights. While technically in pixel art and probably made in RPG Maker, the enemy designs are something to behold in this game, being hella freaky and will stick in your memory, being a great horror game. We did also get a new look at Artis Impact, a turn-based RPG which I last covered in my video previewing games in that genre, of note since it is pixel art but has some sleek animations, especially in combat. I'm not quite sure what the main narrative is, but it takes place in a post-apocalyptic world in which humans and AI exist, where our main character, Akane, explores the world, mixing intense turn-based JRPG-style combat with more light-hearted, almost life sim-style elements. Combat is strategic but streamlined and involves utilizing various abilities and attacks to defeat enemies, with continued training to improve the character and weapon upgrades as well. However, you can also go out into the world to explore, uncovering new locations, talking to NPCs, and even partake in a simple potato pancake snack, which is quite the contrast with the combat. Additionally, you do also have a home which you can decorate and live in, exercising, cooking, or working part-time jobs and managing your finances, which I was not expecting. On top of the pixel art, it also has hand-drawn manga panel-like art which looks so well done and is certainly a curiosity that I have very high hopes of. They have done it again. April 1st, aka Landfall Day, has been claimed by Swedish developer Landfall, who released the viral hit Content Warning last year on this date, and they shadow dropped Haste as well, one of the best looking runner-style games in which you are making your way through procedurally generated worlds and have to avoid all hazards in your way. This has previewed extremely well for its Sonic-like gotta go fast gameplay, but I suppose more straightforward, since you are, for the most part, constantly advancing forward, needing to get to the next portal to access the next world. They have somehow created a narrative around this and added abilities and items so that you can customize your build, as strange as it may seem, but it is paying off for them since as of recording, this peaked at more than 4,600 concurrent players and is at 941 reviews, which is pretty good, and it's amazing that they have sustained this April 1st thing for such a long period of time. We also had the release date confirmation for Beholder Conductor, a narrative-driven strategy adventure game that is a spin-off of the Beholder series, all of which are set in a totalitarian state, but where you play as a government employee and have to conform. In this game, you play as a senior conductor aboard a massive train, tasked with overseeing passengers and ensuring strict adherence to government regulations, resulting, of course, in moral dilemmas as you have to make challenging decisions. At your disposal are reporting, intimidation, searches, and ejections, and you kind of wield absolute power over the train, but as the saying goes, this might corrupt absolutely. In addition to the regular passengers, you have to keep an eye on the powerful and wealthy industrialists, as well as your colleagues, reporting them if they are planning to overthrow the government or are taking bribes or transporting banned goods. Your reward is the trust of the higher-ups and special secret assignments which you need to carry out, looking great in that Beholder kind of way, with the other entries in this series being worth a play as well. Just a quick one here, since it has been a while since we last heard from Skate Story, being a cool looking and very emo skateboarding title, which is still slated for 2025 as far as I know, with the news being that this too is coming to consoles. You play as a demon who is made up of glass and pain, who has struck a deal with the devil, skate to the moon and consume it in order to attain freedom, having one of the most distinctive, ethereal, otherworldly visual style that makes it stand out. For the most part, you are doing classic skateboarding tricks like ollies, kickflips and grinds, navigating the challenging terrain of the underworld, but where the penalty for wiping out is that you shatter into 1,000 pieces, and remains high on the list of games to watch. From the developer of My Friend Pedro comes Shotgun Cop Man, an equally, if not more absurd action platformer where instead of playing as off-brand Deadpool, you are a cop on a mission to arrest Satan. Armed with a shotgun, your character uses the weapon not only for combat, but also as a means of propulsion. Each level is designed to challenge your reflexes and timing, requiring you to shoot at just the right moment to navigate the environment and to defeat enemies. The game features a simple pixel art style contrasted with the very weird looking characters, with each area in hell offering unique challenges and enemies that test your skills. Difficulty increases as you progress, and with over 150 levels and then optional challenges like no damage, speedrun and kill all, there should be plenty of challenge, with there being a level editor and Steam Workshop support for even more levels. I played the original Painkiller back when I was a teenager, and it's probably a right place, right time kind of situation, since it was all about battling demons and was like Doom, but not really, since the weapons are different and arguably more interesting with their alt-fire modes. So imagine my delight when this new 2025 version was announced. This is a reimagined version of the classic 2004 FPS where you are fighting your way out of purgatory in search of redemption, polished up and modernized and looks great. However, they added co-op support for up to 3 players, choosing from 4 distinct characters, each offering unique abilities that enhance energy, health, power and damage, where co-op isn't the first thing that I would have associated with Painkiller, but alright, I'm open to the idea, with this releasing sometime in 2025 as well. We did also get a new extended gameplay trailer for The Eternal Life of Goldman, one of the prettiest upcoming hand-drawn action platformers in which you play as Goldman, an elderly man who embarks on a quest to kill a powerful deity, a mystical creature that everyone talks about but no one has seen. As you journey through diverse environments, you use a customizable cane that can be upgraded throughout your adventure to unlock new abilities, with the core gameplay revolving around solving puzzles, defeating enemies and exploring vast interconnected areas, but stops short of calling itself a Metroidvania. I absolutely love the art style here, mixing intricate line drawings with colourful environments with some beautiful animations, with the narrative and mystery compelling you to check out this title. I love the Heroes of Might and Magic series, especially 3, which is why the IP being locked away in the Ubisoft vault made no sense to me, so I was excited when Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era was announced, one that looks to be very much in the same vein of HOMM3, and is a turn-based strategy game that mixes overworld exploration, castle building, and turn-based tactical combat on a grid. You control heroes leading armies or stacks of fantasy creatures fighting neutral monsters to gain access to resources and artifacts, or can fight enemy heroes or even lay siege to their castle. This looks like a throwback, with the factions of Temple, Necropolis, Sylvian, Dungeon, and Hive, with a 6th faction yet to be announced, but this is supposed to be a Q2 2025 release, so it could be any day now. I was so happy when I got the news that Creature Keeper has a release date, since this action-adventure monster tamer has long been on my watchlist, where you can go back on the channel and find me referring to this when it was still titled Project Elysis, and will finally be releasing. This kind of looks like a 2D Zelda game with real-time combat, but in which you are able to tame creatures and fight alongside them. You can assemble a party of such creatures, each with unique traits and abilities, forming bonds with them and utilizing their strengths in battle as you investigate a strange sickness which is spreading across the land. The core combat looks awesome and layers on a crafting system for potions, food, and tools, where you can equip tiny hats on the creatures or even feed them their favorite food. Your progress is tracked in a bestiary, which records every creature that you encounter, where the more you learn about a creature through taming or fighting them, the more complete the bestiary gets, granting you buffs and rewards that help further strengthen your party, and might be up there among the best games of the year. The Nintendo Switch 2 Direct was one of the most insane showcases in recent memory for a number of reasons, one of which is that Deltarune Chapter 3+4 will be releasing on June 5th, which is Switch 2 Day, being the highly anticipated follow-up to the first 2 chapters which were free, and hey, given that it is from Toby Fox, creator of Undertale, and this tells a parallel story in the same world, of course people are going crazy for this. Where I think that this release will be paid, but more chapters are to be added for free later on. I have one more release date here in Monster Train 2, the follow-up to one of the best roguelite deck builders, which was announced and dropped a demo during the Steam Next Festival and quickly shot up the charts of the most wishlisted games. In theory, this is a continuation of the story from the first game, but the details don't really matter, where you need to know that the demons and angels are now working together to fight the titans who have seized control of heaven. There are 5 new clans, each with unique strengths and strategies, new card types including room and equipment cards, while still retaining the 3-lane structure that the original was known for, with this having the potential to be huge as well. It's alive! One of the most anticipated live sim titles is Witchbrook, coming to us from developer and publisher Chucklefish, who at one point published Stardew Valley, so at the time when this was announced, the hype was massive. But following many years of silence and people asking where is Witchbrook, they finally have an answer with an amazing looking trailer. This is a live sim social RPG where you play as a student at Witchbrook College in Mosspot, a lively seaside city. The game offers a dynamic environment where every character, including townsfolk, fellow students and faculty, follows unique daily routines, contributing to a vibrant and ever-evolving living world. Attend classes to enhance your magical prowess, engage in various activities such as potion brewing, participate in rituals, and consult the stars for insights. Beyond academics, you can renovate your woodland cottage, cultivate a flourishing garden, and even establish a business to fund your studies. The game also features online co-op for up to 4 players, allowing you to share adventures, exchange secrets, and deepen connections with friends, with the expected relationship system with dateable NPCs, seasonal events, and more, all with a wonderful pixel art style, and is going to be massive. Hollow Knight Silksong is real and coming in 2025, at least according to a sizzle reel during the Switch 2 Direct, with rumors swirling that this too will be a June release. But the most anticipated indie game is a no-brainer for the #1 spot. Watch this video for more Metroidvanias.